Hi guys, it's Siobhan with Tarot and Beyond. Today we are doing an April predictions reading for 2023. So the way that I have it set up here today is with 4 separate piles. Pile 1 is designated to earth signs. Pile 2 is designated to air signs. Pile 3 is designated to fire signs, and pile 4 is designated to water signs. That being said, if you feel called to a pile that is not one of the elemental signs of your top 3 signs, i.e. your sun, your moon, or your rising sign astrologically, feel free to follow your intuition to the messages that Spirit has destined for you to hear. And if you prefer picking with crystals, pile 1 has the rose quartz crystal, pile 2 has blue lace agate, pile 3 has malachite, and pile 4 has, I believe, an amethyst geode or some kind of geode. Absolutely beautiful. So choose the pile, the element, or the crystal that resonates with your intuition and select the relevant timestamp down below in the description box or pinned in the comments to jump ahead to your reading. Enjoy! Hi, pile number 1. If you chose the rose quartz crystal or you were called to this zodiac sign elemental group, then welcome. So let's go ahead and take a look at your cards and get into your reading. All right, so the first card you have here is I honor animals with reverence. Beautiful, especially since this is the earth sign element, which is Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo, very much connected to the natural realm. You also have the 7 of Wands. Kitty has joined the reading. You have the 8 of Wands. Yes, Kitty. You have the 6 of Cups. You have the 2 of Cups. There's Kitty. Hi, sweetheart. You have the Horse card. Beautiful. Luck is on your side with new moon in Sagittarius. And imagine. All right, hi pile number 1. Let's get into your reading. So what I'm seeing here for you, whether or not you are an earth sign, I do see fast movement for you in terms of a dream that you've had, especially related to your emotional connections and the heart. So there's this feeling of longing and dreaming and waiting for something that you've been working toward for quite a long time, but hasn't necessarily shown up manifestation-wise in your life. I do see that you've been searching everywhere for this person, this thing, or this feeling. Possibly even an experience that you're wanting to have. I get the sense that this is something you've dreamed about, either daydreaming or actually dreaming at night. And it's lived within your heart for quite a long time, possibly even since childhood, since we have the 6 of Cups here. It could be a longing for an ideal relationship, since we have the 2 of Cups as well. So this is that longing for your prince or princess charming, your ideal mate, your soulmate, your twin flame, your other half, longing for that deep sense of connection and love. I do see that it feels, up until this point, that things have not been making progress. It feels like things have been stuck in some regard, and you may have even felt that you had gotten off track at some point. However, I do see that this love is actually all around you already, and your deep longing for it is within your heart. And they've just reminded me that the crystal for your pile is rose quartz, which is the heart chakra. And it helps you to heal the heart so that you can open up and experience divine love through these external relationships, but primarily so that you can feel it within yourself and within connection to all beings. And that's what I'm seeing here with I honor animals with reverence. It's this connection to all life through the heart, through the energy of love that ultimately is what you're seeking. And yes, that may be exemplified through one particular partner, but I do feel that the true longing that stemmed from your inner child, or is that's still coming from your inner child, that you dreamed about, that you imagined for so long, is actually a connection with all things. And first and foremost, your connection with yourself. So in April, I see an opportunity for you because luck is on your side this month. So things that have felt like they weren't moving forward or progressing are going to start seeing some movement. Now, this is going to require you to participate. I see the horse energy here as you taking things in your charge. And what I mean by that is you starting to willingly and with determination, take action towards creating the situations, the circumstances, the opportunities, and first and foremost, the feeling of that which you are desiring to manifest, experience in your life, etc. So the more that you can honor your own inner child, and the more that you can honor all life, especially the sacred connection that you have with animals, and these could be pets or these could be wild animals or both. I do see this growing and expanding and healing your heart chakra, and in turn, creating the opportunities and the real life physical circumstances that will bring you into connection with your divine partner or with a deeply mutual, reciprocal, loving relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic in nature. This could be a best friend or a renewal of a relationship or healing of a relationship with a family member. Something has to be released for this to happen. And the release really comes around you disconnecting from the world around you. The Seven of Wands here, it feels almost isolated to me. So you may have to protect your heart, taking yourself out of these opportunities to connect with other people, either physically by not going to places where you might meet people or form new relationships, or internally. So even if you are physically present, you're not opening your heart and exposing your true self to these other people. That needs to be let go of. Boundaries are important. Having your own inner fortitude to stand your ground is important, and that is what the Seven of Wands is speaking about. However, the distorted energy of that was these barriers rather than boundaries. Boundaries allow us to authentically connect by honoring and respecting each other's needs and limitations, whereas barriers create limitations on our ability to connect in the first place. So I see you creating a path for yourself where none existed before by doing this. I see you shooting your shot, is what I just heard in my head, and they had me look at the bow and arrow in this new moon in Sagittarius card. And it looks like that arrow is directly going down this pillar where before it was like a cage, you see? And then it opens up in the Eight of Wands, which is the next step in that cycle. And you're able to actually move through this corridor or this pathway to that which you desire to experience. The other aspect of this that I'm seeing for you is the connection. So to have these connections come in, it does mean that you also have to offer your truth, your love, and your authentic self. Now, again, having those boundaries there to make sure that you're not overextending yourself is crucial. And when you can master that balance and give in an equal, reciprocal way with other people, not expecting anything in return, but rather giving because you have enough to give and knowing when to stop or when you don't, that's where true friendship and connection comes in, because you're able to honor your relationship with yourself simultaneously while you're honoring the relationship with this other person. And a true equal friendship or partnership or loving relationship is also going to reflect that back to you, where the other person respects when you have enough to give and when you don't, and they don't hold it against you or build any resentment toward you. This is what detached unconditional love looks like. Attached love is projecting onto the other person the needs that we have unmet within ourselves, and often trying to control them or limit our contact with people who we have a hard time setting those boundaries with or communicating our needs to. So I do see you really stepping into the boundaries within you through courage. That's that horse energy. So much courage is being fostered within you, and it's really helping you to renew that sense of passion for this dream, renew that sense of hope for this to actually manifest in your life, or rather for you to create it. Because I do see here that it's not something that is just being dropped on your doorstep. It's something that you are actively participating in creating and co-creating, because that's that mirroring energy of the Two of Cups. You are co-creating. As you are manifesting this desire, so too is the other person. And when it's an energetic match and the frequency resonates, the attraction begins. So April really does have a focus on love for you, pile number 1, and healing of the heart, healing of your dynamic within relationships, healing of your inner child, as any of those attachment wounds usually stem from childhood. Our primary caregivers model us the behavior and the type of dynamics that we then later play out very unconsciously with our relationships with others. So by identifying how those patterns began and which ones are not serving you any longer, this is going to help you to really cultivate that inner strength and love within yourself for yourself. Healing your relationship with the inner child, healing your relationship with your sense of self and your identity. This is where that self-love is truly going to create this shift. You are creating this shift. My attention is being drawn to the moons right next to each other here in conjunction to the Six of Cups. This feels to me like dream work. So you might have some of this healing come up in dream time when you're sleeping at night. So if you can remember your dreams, try to unpack them in the morning consciously. And if not, just know that you are doing a lot of work behind the scenes, so to speak, at soul level in the astral realm. I see you giving to yourself in ways that you haven't before. So this could be treating yourself as you desire the other person to treat you, or other people in your life to treat you as they perhaps didn't in the past. So really it is you embodying the actions and therefore the frequency of that which you want to attract and receive. So give yourself the time, give yourself the connection, check in with yourself, see how you're feeling. If you start to feel emotional, Connect to the part of you where that's originating from. It could be the inner child, or it could be another part of you. We are multifaceted, multi-dimensional beings. Connecting to animals is also going to be particularly healing, and we've seen that message come up throughout this reading. It's one of the primary messages. So if you are having a hard time unconditionally loving yourself because of the false identity that was formed in childhood, it is recommended to connect to animals because they can help you to embody the frequency of unconditional love. Because animals are inherently unconditional. I see this as a major transformation for you because they've just shown me the snake energy there on that card, and that really represents healing, transformation, shedding of the old ways, releasing what is not you anymore. And that's what I see is through healing your inner child, healing your relationship dynamics and your attachment wounding, you are quite literally shedding your skin. It's like you're renewing yourself. And I mean quite literally because, yes, this is a metaphoric, internal, symbolic process happening at soul level and at an emotional body level. But it's also happening physically is what they're telling me. Because I'm seeing your skin becoming clearer, becoming brighter, becoming more youthful. As you connect to the healing with your inner child and you give yourself the love that you've always dreamed of, you become radiant from within. You glow from within because your frequency is rising. And that makes you much more efficient at manifesting. It makes you much more able to create the circumstances and to receive that which you have created. So I do feel in April for you, Pile 1, that you're going into a deep renewal phase where a lot of transformation and transmutation is taking place. And this is really going to show on your face, on your skin, in your body, and in your heart. You're going to feel different and you're going to look different. And those two both play off of each other because when you feel better, you look better. And when you look better, you feel better. So it becomes this self-perpetuating cycle in an upward spiral rather than the downward spiral that you may have been in the past. You are reaching for your dreams here, Pile number 1. And I want to acknowledge how courageous that is. And the effort that you've put in is palpable. I can feel it. I can see it in the cards. You have put in so much effort. You have done for yourself in ways that you desired and you needed to have been done for you by others, but maybe they weren't capable, or they didn't have the resources, or they didn't know how. So by doing this for yourself, you're reaching for something more. You're not settling anymore. You're not settling for less because you know you deserve more. Your heart, your inner child deserves better. You deserve better. And as you continue to heal the imprints, the wounding, the programming, and the old identities within you, you will become clearer and clearer and clearer on who you are and who you're not. And from there, your free will and your choice can be utilized. Masterful results. And I heard somebody coming in telepathically going, disastrous results. No, sweet Pile 1. Masterful results. Don't allow your doubt, your fear, or the patterns or cycles of the past to dictate what you can create. You are a limitless being. You are not confined to the restrictions of your upbringing or to the patterns of your past. You are here to liberate yourself and in turn to liberate others through love. Stay within your truth. Stay within your heart. And you will find your way. You will create your way. Wow. Let me see if there's any other messages for you, Pile 1, for April. Ascension. Yes, ascension. So I do see you moving upward. It's like you're taking steps up these stairs. You're making progress. You're having a higher vantage point to be able to see things more clearly. It's brighter up there. You can see further. And because you have more awareness, because you can see further, because you have this higher perspective, you're better able to choose which direction you want to go. And therefore, you're better able to create it. Set your intentions. Embody that frequency. Hold the love within your heart. Visualize the dream and then live it every day through how you treat yourself and how you connect to the world around you. You are building a new, sturdy, safe home that will last a lifetime, is what I'm seeing and hearing. They're drawing my attention to the building in the background of the Six of Cups. So this is your home environment. And again, this is related to your healing from childhood in your childhood home. But I see you rebuilding a new home within yourself, and it could even be quite physically translated later in life or at some point coming up in this year, that you are building something new, that you are building a new home, a new place that feels safe and uniquely suited to your needs. And if the house that you grew up in wasn't like that, you have the opportunity to change it now. You don't have to use that same blueprint for the architecture. You get to draw up the blueprint for this new house. And you get to make it as unique and as beautiful as you are. Every action of kindness and love that you give to yourself and others from a capacity that you have is a brick in the wall and the foundations of this house that you are building. And one day, you will sit in the walls of that house and you will look out the window and you will feel a deep and profound sense of peace over what you have created. And you will trust yourself in what may feel like an unfathomable way to your current self now. Because you will have done what you set out to do. And you will know unequivocally that you are powerful and that you are loved because you have lived it. You have experienced it. You have created it. Oh, wow. Pile number 1, earth signs. If you're here for this is just absolutely magnificent. And I am so excited for you. My heart is just full to bursting with this love that I can feel you embodying in the future. So start right now, because your dreams are not that far off. It's small actions and small shifts and courage right now that is going to shift your frequency and help you to start embodying it and creating it in this very moment. You were drawn to this reading for a reason. You were meant to hear this information, and you can and you will apply it if you so desire. All right, guys, that is your reading for April. I hope that it resonated and supported you. And if you are looking for support in manifestation, healing, or any other kind of spiritual work, I have psychic energy reading and healing sessions, Akashic readings, and a new offering, which is the 7D Manifesting Blueprint. In the 7D Manifesting Blueprint, we will be looking at your unique soul's map for how to create and manifest into reality. If you're interested in that, I would highly recommend it. We can go deeply into your inner child, heal attachment wounds at the source, do timeline rectification to help you embody your highest frequency in the present now moment, and give you the information that you need and the action steps to be able to implement them. All the information for my services can be found at the link in the description box below at my website, 2kittyandbeyond.com. And don't forget to check out my other channel, 2Kitty and Beyond, here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sending you so much love and blessings, and we'll see you next time. Pile number 2, if you selected the blue lace agate or the air sign pile, welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and look at your cards and see what you got for April. Okay, so you have, I respect the property of others in the reverse position, so I will take it in the way that it came. You have the Four of Cups. Sorry, the Nine of Cups in the reverse position as well. You have the Devil card. The Ace of Swords. The Ace of Wands. Wow. Meditate and contemplate. New moon in Pisces. You had the Eagle flip over with that one as well. And come to the edge. Okay. Pile number 2. What I'm seeing in your cards is a little bit of disconnection from yourself, and it may be showing up as you not respecting your own happiness, your own needs, or even your own property. So in April, the energy that you're working with, or that you may be working with here, is very introspective, and it's asking you to go within. It's asking you to look at any patterns or behaviors or places within your life or within yourself where you are deciding not to do things for your highest good. So these are areas that are out of alignment with you, that are dysfunctional, and that ultimately result in you feeling unhappy or disempowered. Initially, I wondered if this was an energy from outside of you, where somebody was coming in and not respecting your property or your emotional well-being. But when I tuned in deeper into this reading, it feels much more as though this is a part of yourself rather than someone else outside of you. And if it is someone else outside of you, then it's really just there to reflect back to you what you're doing to yourself. Especially if it's a pattern, especially if it's been going on for a long time. Your higher self is trying to communicate with you this month. They are trying to provide you with the information that will help you to shift your perspective and have a keener view of what is holding you back, what limitations you are allowing to have power over you and limit you in your life in very physical ways. I feel a sense of almost as though you don't trust yourself, perhaps, due to past self-sabotaging choices. And because of that, there's an underlying feeling of limitation and hopelessness. Specifically, the hopelessness feels to me a little bit self-victimized. So what I mean by that is that the Nine of Cups reversed feels to me as though there's this experience that you've had of feeling as though your emotions are never going to allow you to be happy, or that you don't know how or what to do to feel fulfilled within yourself or happy within yourself. So you may constantly be looking outside of you to other people or to things to try and fill that void of the inability to create it for yourself. But the only reason, if that is the case, the only reason that that is happening is because you're not seeing yourself clearly. You're not seeing the truth that lies within, which is your true power. You're only seeing the limitations and the circumstances. You're seeing reality as it is and not as it could be. And when we look at things as they could be, they become what we believe them to be. It's like the placebo effect. But what the placebo effect actually is manifestation. It's creation. The observer effect in quantum physics. So if you're getting hung up on the physical circumstances or the experiences that you've had, even if, again, if they've been there for a long time, can feel very restricting. It can feel like that's all there is, but it's not. There's so much more, and your inner self, your authentic self, your higher self, your spirit is calling you to connect so that you can clear away the bonds and the chains that have restricted you within your own mind. This has been what's limited your heart. And it may have come from others at some point, and or be continuing to present that way. So for example, other people not respecting your needs, how you feel, or even what you have, and taking you for granted or taking advantage of you. Those may have been experiences that you've had. The perspective shift here is not that people are bad or that what you have isn't to be respected or that you are not valuable. The lesson here is for you to stand in your own capacity to create what you need for yourself, rather than seeking it from other people who may not respect you in the process or keep you bound through attachment to them fulfilling your wishes or your needs. So this month, Spirit is calling you to analyze these patterns very objectively, to look at them with the eagle eye so that you can see the truth of the situation very clearly. And to do that, you are being given tools. You are being given clear perception. You are being given new passion and reignited hope. You are being urged to come to the edge, to take this leap, to grab these tools, and to believe that you can fly. Because in the past, your experience was that you could not trust your wings. But Spirit wants you to know that when you connect to your authentic self, you will break free from these bonds and you will fly, even if your wings are a little bit weak from misuse. The Devil card here is reminding me of the dragon in Harry Potter. When they go to Gringotts and they free the chained dragon and fly it out and escape. So instead of being locked in the dungeon of your subconscious mind, guarding treasure that you will never get to enjoy, free yourself from those lack mentalities and those limiting beliefs that other people have placed upon you or that you internalized from the world and your experiences. Cut those chains. Use your wand to spark fire back within you, to get your butt in gear, is what I just heard. It's like when Hermione used her wand to spark a little bit of movement in the dragon so that it would get up and out. Don't hurt yourself, but just give yourself a little bit of motivation here. Give yourself a little bit of a prompt. One of the greatest things that you can do for yourself this month is going to be meditating and contemplating. With the new moon in Pisces card here, I see you tuning in to your subconscious mind, to your energy body, to your soul. This is what's going to give you the necessary context and perspective that will break you free from those matrix-style limitations, being trapped in a false reality, one that appears very real. And if there's fear, remind yourself, fear is an acronym for false evidence appearing real. It's not actually, but that's what my mom always used to tell me when I was a little girl, and I've carried that with me all my life. I see you freeing yourself from this matrix or this web, if you can see in the Devil card. The spider's web is not going to catch you anymore. You are not a victim. You are not a helpless fly. You are an eagle. You are keen, strong, swift, wise, intelligent, and bold. Remember who you are. Remember why you came here. Remember what you came here to do. You came here to be you. You came here to embody freedom and liberation. So free yourself, pile number 2. And speak your truth. My eye is drawn to the crystal that we have here with your reading. And blue lace agate is a very powerful throat chakra crystal that helps us to tune back into our authentic voice and to speak our truth with confidence and clarity. I'm seeing the striations here in the crystal as layers within yourself that you have yet to uncover. There are many layers within your being that are desiring to be unearthed this month. And you are being given the energetic opportunity, or should I say, nudge, to do so, to dig a little bit deeper and to unearth the root of the experience of limitation or suffering or lack. This nudge can be one that you give to yourself, or it can be something that the universe is going to provide. Ultimately, it remains up to you if you choose to heed this information and to take action through inner contemplation, moving your ego to the side and taking a look at the patterns below the surface, then you will have an advantage here. You will have an advantage that will carry you much further. If, on the other hand, you choose to disregard this information, that is perfectly all right. There is nothing wrong with that. And you will always be given every opportunity to step back into your power, because that is what your soul truly desires. And so that is what it will continue to present you with opportunities to do. However, I do have to say that the messages that I'm receiving from Spirit are very clear. And they are wanting you to know consciously that if you resist and you persist in this line of thought or line of action or set of behaviors, the universe is going to shove you. And they're showing me that meme. I'll put it on the screen if I can find it. And it's like there's a girl in a wheelchair and there's a girl behind her and she's kind of launching her off the cliff. I don't think it will be that dramatic, pile 2. So please don't be afraid. It feels very loving, but it's almost as though you're a chick in the nest, and if you don't choose to jump out and test your wings on your own, then the universe, which is the mother bird, is going to push you out. And that might be more scary because it wasn't or didn't feel like your free will choice. But what they're showing me is that it actually is. It is a higher level free will choice that your spirit and your soul have designated to be necessary. And it's necessary because it's there to teach you your strength. It's there for you to change your beliefs and to see yourself as capable. The push to come to the edge is here for you to free yourself and to fly, to remember that you have wings. Because pile number 2, part of you has forgotten that. You've been out of your element, I see. Air and water. In the emotional realm, you may feel out of your element. But remember, wings can be used to fly in the air, or they can be used to fly in water. It's the same motion. The only difference is the density. And there are a few birds that do swim underwater. You can do this. You were always meant to fly, but you have wings that can support you in other elements as well. And this will allow you to retrieve that which you seek from within. They're showing me in my mind, I'm not sure what kind of bird it is, perhaps a kingfisher. And they dive down into the depths of the water and they use their wings as if they were fins. They grab the fish and they ascend back up to the surface of the water, and they can fly off or they can go over to land and enjoy their feast. This is representative of your journey into the underworld within yourself, which is your subconscious mind. You may be doing some shadow work this month, pile 2. And don't fear your shadow. Love your shadow, for it is you. It is not something outside of you that has power over you. It is you, and it is only the power that you give it by turning away from it, by rejecting it, and by fearing it, that allows it to persist and control you. You are meant to break these chains, but to do so, you must dive down deep into those waters of the mind to find the treasure within and to return a triumphant, victorious hero. I do see a lot of victory in your reading, pile 2. The way that these 2 hands are holding these gifts from the universe. It's like you've got both hands with exactly what you need, and you're raising them up in triumph because the clarity of mind and the passion of spirit has been renewed. Like magic, you are transformed, and through the undertaking that you are choosing to move through this month, you are able to free yourself and soar as the being that you were always meant to be. So there you have it, pile 2. That is your reading for April 2023. I very much hope that it resonated and that it supports you on your spiritual journey. If you are needing any additional support, I do provide many powerful, transformative services that you can find on my website. The link is in the description box below the video, and you can explore all of the one-on-one and group services that I am currently offering. Sending you so much love for the month of April and beyond. Bye. Hi, pile number 3. If you were called to Malachite or to the fire sign portion of the reading, let's go ahead and take a look at your cards. You have I affirm that all life is sacred in the reverse position. The Three of Coins. The High Priestess in reverse. The Three of Cups. The King of Pentacles. Communication is key with new moon in Gemini. Dolphin. And To Be Fair. All right, high pile number 3, welcome to your reading. Let's take a look at what messages are coming through for you in the month of April. So the first thing that I'm seeing is that there are two very distinct sides to you. There is one side that is very focused on work, and the other side that is very focused on play and relaxation and fun. I do see a nice balance between those two sides of you, but there is a third secret hidden side of you that you may not be fully aware of when you're focusing either on work or on play. And this is your own divinity. The High Priestess in reverse and affirming that all life is sacred in reverse as well are giving me the impression that although you are balanced in those two material aspects of your life, that third missing aspect may even be creating imbalance within those two aspects that you feel tend to be fairly balanced. So Spirit is asking you this month, pile 3, what is it that you can do to bring more of your divinity, more of your soul essence into your everyday life, specifically into how you work and how you communicate with others in the jobs that you do, and also how you play and how you express yourself and how you connect with others in a leisurely way for fun. Bringing balance to these two areas and keeping them in balance hinges on the central column of your divinity. Without your soul being a part of this trinity, there will always be something missing. And one side will counterbalance the other, and it will be a perpetual teeter-totter. Up and down all the time. Never quite finding that perfect balance where everything is still and peaceful and whole. So this is what I'm seeing in your reading is a lot to do with duality versus the Trinity, body, mind, and soul, self, higher self, and ego. The self is the observer, the ego is the identity, and the higher self is the self that has been through everything and has turned back to assist you from a space outside of this dimension and outside of time. I see, pile 3, that you may struggle with finding balance between being alone and being with other people. It feels like when you're with other people, you want to be alone, and when you're alone, you want to be with other people. This is what I'm talking about here, and this is what Spirit is sharing with you for the month of April, and bringing you this awareness so that you can focus in on that void space, on that gap between the two, which is essentially your connection with yourself and the aspects of yourself that we just mentioned. Seeing this clearly is going to help you to illuminate in the dark where things may be murky or easily hidden That's another thing that I'm seeing with the High Priestess in reverse here. This is hidden energy. There's things that are behind the veil that you're not seeing. There's information within you that you're not necessarily feeling or connecting to. But the dolphin here, with his eyes, it's giving me the impression that he can see a lot further. And it's really, in reality, I think this is actually a depiction of sonar. So it would actually be sound used to see more clearly, but in the image, it's coming out of the eyes. So this is you seeing something more clearly than you have up until this point. And I really do see you needing to communicate with that aspect of you. It's almost like that echolocation or that voice sonar system is needing to be utilized. So speaking verbally to yourself or to another person that can help you to reflect back on yourself. So if you're more of an internal person, then I would recommend speaking to yourself either in your head or out loud. If you're more of an external person, then I would recommend finding someone to be a sounding board who can hold safe space for you so they can reflect back to you what it is that you're needing to know, or provide you the space to be able to come to that conclusion on your own. What you're seeking and what the universe is trying to bring you is stability. The King of Pentacles is a very stable, structured, firm energy. But because of these gaps in the system, the Trinity not being whole, again, it's as though the structure and the stability and the foundation are slightly more malleable or liquid than they ought to be. I see a lot of blue in your reading as well, and blue is the color of communication. Blue is the color of the throat chakra, and since you quite literally have the communication card here saying that communication is key, this is something that Spirit is recommending for you in the month of April, focusing on how you communicate. How do you communicate with yourself? How do you communicate with other people? And they keep bringing me back to the internal-external example. And this is actually one of the frequency spectrums that we measure in the 7D Manifesting Blueprint, which is a new reading that I'm offering on my website. But essentially what it is the internal person needs to communicate to themselves kindly, and then they will see that reflected back to them from other people. Versus the external person, they actually need to speak to other people kindly, which allows them to receive that in return as well. So one is focused on turning in and one is focused on turning out, and both achieve the same result. It's just different types of soul expressions. So find what works for you, but really this month is about communication. It is about going inward. It is about finding that balance between this Trinity and creating that harmony. So the wisdom here from your higher self, from the High Priestess energies wanting to come in, you can see the owl on the top of, it almost looks like justice, like the justice card. And this is the pillar. This is the higher self. And then this is the mind. And then this is the body. Now, it's not actually that in this card. I think there's a fortune cookie, and I'm not sure what that is in the other side, but there's good fortune here when things are balanced and when there's wisdom being incorporated into the system. The High Priestess wants you to have this balance of yin and yang. And even yin and yang is not duality. It's light and dark, but there's dark in the light and there's light in the dark. So the Trinity is really unity, and duality is separation. So by connecting to yourself and creating unity within, you're activating the Trinity and allowing yourself to see things from the wisdom within, from the eyes of your soul. They're focusing my eyes over here now on affirming life as sacred. See how it's like the eyes are filled with light. You can't even see any irises or pupils. It's just pure light radiating out because there's an awareness that all life is sacred, which is unity consciousness. The circle in the background represents unity consciousness. So I feel like you understanding these principles, yes, but also applying them in how you function in your day-to-day life, your everyday routine, your work and your relaxed time, incorporating your soul expression into regular human life is going to give you a soul perspective that will change how you actually interact with life and how then life interacts with you. This will bring good fortune. They keep drawing my eye back to the fortune cookie. This will bring good fortune. And information as well. Yeah, the information that comes from inside the fortune cookie. It's not even the fortune cookie that gives you fortune. It just tells you of something to be aware of. Which is kind of like what we're doing here in this reading. So rather than walking this path alone and hitting those stumbling blocks, because they're drawing my attention now to the trees that are kind of pulling at this dragon a little bit. It's like they're catching on his wings and dragging him back when he's trying to move forward, but because he's not seeing or looking where he's going, he's kind of getting stuck. And it's the very similar energy here in the High Priestess with the tree reaching toward the dragon. So it feels like there's things in life that have kind of grabbed onto you and prevented you from moving forward. And it seems like it's something from outside of you, but really it's because you're not seeing things clearly. I do see that you see some things. So you're not blind, pile 3, not by any means. But you're not seeing it all, and that's the issue. You're seeing aspects of the truth. You're seeing different sides of the truth, but you're not seeing the whole truth. And so because of that, the equation is incomplete. The solution is not something that you're aware of. The solution here is to listen to your gut. It's to trust your intuition. The face in the dress is right around where the stomach and the sacral chakra would be, but to me this is kind of feeling like your intuition, your gut instinct, your inner knowing. It's really about paying attention to those feelings or how that information presents to you. And it is different for everyone. Some people feel it as sensations in their body. Some people feel it as, almost like a magnetic pull or push of resistance. Some people hear guidance verbally in their mind through their inner voice. Some people just have a sense of knowing. Some people actually visually see information or visions or the future or the past, and they're able to then act upon that. And some people have a variation of all of those. So it really is a little bit of self-discovery here to allow some time for yourself to communicate with the other aspects of you, to send out like that echolocation call of the dolphin and listen for what's around. So this could be setting an intention to connect to your higher self, or setting an intention to have your soul communicate to you what it needs to create balance through this trinity, through unity consciousness. In that there will be stability, in that there will be an answer, and it's feeling like it's actually going to be a pretty concrete answer. And coming from the High Priestess in reverse to the King of Pentacles with a concrete, very tangible answer, I think you're going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised how just setting the intention and setting aside the time to connect is actually going to prove very fruitful for you. You will have something to show from it at the end of the day. Ah, I see. They're also mentioning that some of the tangible manifestations of connection from spirit may come through from the physical realm. So, for example, through spirit guides or through situations that you find yourself in physically within work or within your leisure time that are confirmations of what you've been thinking or what you were intending or what you were asking about. So again, that's another reason they're drawing so much attention in this reading to the eyes. It's like, keep your eyes peeled, keep your eyes open. Be very aware and conscious, scanning for these symbols and this information, because it is trying to come through to you, but it's whether or not you're paying attention. They tend to be fairly subtle communications when spirit begins communicating with us, because, well, it feels subtle because we're not attuned to that frequency yet, and we're not used to scanning constantly for that information and putting the dots together, combining the pieces of the puzzle so we can see that bigger picture. So this is a skill that is developed, and I feel like some of you have a pretty good handle on this skill already. And if that's you who I'm speaking to, then this is really just emphasizing bringing that even into the moments in your life where spirituality isn't quote unquote prominent. So let's say, for example, you work in a bank, and that's not somewhere that you normally would think that souls go and you do spiritual things, or where messages could come through. But pay attention, because they will. Spirit doesn't matter if you're in a temple or if you're in a bank or if you're at a bus stop. Spirit is going to deliver you the messages wherever you happen to be. And anywhere that you go is spiritual, because you are spirit. Everything is spirit. The chair you're sitting on, the bed you're lying on, the clothes you're wearing, everything is spirit. It's all made of energy. It's all made of consciousness. It is manifested consciousness. This is unity. So see through the veil, see beyond the veil. Having this consciousness is going to give you access to so much more information that's going to help you. And to those of you who don't have this skill developed just yet, I encourage you to tune into it. Really, that's the beginning stage of developing this type of intuition and sentience. It is a form of heightened sentience. Simply listen, feel, observe. So observe what you're feeling in your body. Observe what you're feeling in your environment. Observe what you're thinking in your mind. And it does take practice to get into that observer role, but it's kind of like when you're doing a meditation and you're focusing on your breath. Your mind will wander, you will get distracted, you will stop focusing on the breath. But as soon as you remember that that's what you were initially trying to do, you bring your focus back to the breath. So it really is a discipline of the mind to bring ourselves consistently back to the observer role, to be focused and present in the moment so that we can observe what is currently happening and or what we are currently feeling. That's where the messages are. The messages don't come through in the past or the future. They come through in the present. So we need to be physically and mentally present to receive them. That's another message that the King of Pentacles is bringing in here. It is about being grounded. We need to be grounded in the present moment. And being grounded is not less spiritual. We don't need to launch out of the body into the astral realm or into the higher dimensions to become spiritual. We are spirit. Not just our soul, but our body. Our body is made of spirit. So the soul's not inside the body. The body is inside the soul. The body is a manifestation of the soul. So being grounded in the body is actually more spiritual than not. Because this is the point of present moment experiential now, upon which we can receive and express our spirit, our soul, our true self. Pile 3. This is a big month for you. I do see you successful at this, I must say, because the 3 of Cups and the Dolphin card sitting right together with the King of Pentacles, I do see you finding a way to get grounded. I do see you celebrating and rejoicing the fact that you are connecting, you are uniting the Trinity within you, and you are receiving information and guidance from that higher sentience level. The dolphin, highly sentient creatures from Sirius, seeded from Sirius, the Sirius star system. And if you're interested in starseed origins, I have a series on my main YouTube channel, To Kitty and Beyond, that you can check out. But the dolphin, highly sentient, highly conscious, highly empathic, and psychic spiritual beings. So this is what you're becoming. And dolphins, because they're so intelligent, they're also very playful and fun-loving and communicative. Dolphins, they speak. They have a language of their own. Dolphins actually have different dialects for different regions. So dolphins from different parts of the ocean can't actually understand each other, as well as just like us being from different countries, we can't really understand each other if we're not speaking a common language. So dolphins actually do have language and speech and culture, which is really cool. So again, it's coming back to communication. Again, it's coming back to your psychic abilities and your spiritual connection to yourself and to everything else. You're going to create such beautiful balance this month and going forward, Pile 3. I am so, so happy to see that for you. And through that stability, there's protection. And I do see it's like a level playing field. You're leveling the playing field because now your handicap is gone. You know, it's like the thing that was holding you back is no longer impeding you and your progress and your vision. It's like you can see so much more clearly, and then you can start to build on that, because I do see you building on that, and I see you working with other people potentially as well. The 3 of Pentacles here being alone in the forest, that feels like a distorted version, and what's really kind of the goal here is to be with other people, to work with them, to collaborate through teamwork. This is how we rise. We rise together. We cannot rise in isolation because we're all one. This is unity again. So to separate ourselves from that and to see ourselves as alone is not only not true, but it's unhelpful. So you might have to kind of push yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit to connect to people and communicate this month. But I'm telling you, or rather, Spirit is telling you, it's going to really help you in the long run. You're going to receive some messages that you would not have gotten otherwise. And with that will come good fortune, balance, and longevity. All right, Pile 3, so have fun with it. It doesn't have to be all serious, but it does need to be prioritized. Okay, so I'm sending you lots and lots of love for April and beyond. And if you need any support spiritually, I have psychic energy healing and reading sessions. I do Akashic readings as well, tarot and oracle, obviously. And I have 7D manifesting blueprint readings available now on my website too. So lots of good stuff for you guys. Check it out through the link in the description box below. And we will see you in the next reading. Bye. All right, hi Pile 4, if you were called to the geode, or you are a water sign, sun, moon, or rising, welcome to your reading. Let's take a look at your cards. I listen to opposing opinions in the reverse position. The Wheel of Fortune. The 3 of Cups in reverse. The 9 of Pentacles. 10 of Swords. Wow. Okay. The Shark card. Oh my goodness. Pile 4. Your commitment is being, yeah, I can see that. Your commitment is being tested, pile 4. But you are blessed. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, let me organize these cards and we'll see you in a second. Okay, so pile number 4. I see that this month you may be struggling to deal with the opinions of others that differ from yours. So you may be challenged to keep your cool and not allow yourself to react in a way that is coming from that place of sensitivity or feeling vulnerable when other people disagree with you or have different belief sets or different opinions. Especially if those people are not trying to have a civilized conversation and they're simply trying to project or unload on you. So in that effect, if in April you are feeling attacked or you are feeling as though people are trying to harm you with their words, this is a test. It's something to do with your commitment to your goal, specifically around perhaps your work, your career, or your sense of abundance. Something to do with your fortune as well, with the Wheel of Fortune, and it does feel fated, karmic, but in a positive sense. So even though this test may feel uncomfortable or challenging, it really is to support you in your growth. It really is to ensure that that fortune is stable. The 9 of Pentacles here is beautiful. It's speaking of your sense of stability. So it is your capacity to kind of disregard any kind of judgment or projection or blame that's cast your way through misunderstanding or through direct attack. And really just allowing yourself to enjoy your own space, your own energy, your own sense of inner peace. Staying within that takes discipline, and that's where your test is this month. It really is around your sense of inner peace and your ability to hold that in the face of conflict or challenge. I do see that in the past you may have kind of taken on the words or opinions or thoughts of others, and it kind of left you the worse for the wear. You know, you were the one who really kind of took the brunt or the blame of everything. And this cycle or this phase of this part of your journey is you not doing that anymore. It's to prove that you are no longer going to internalize or take on other people's opinions, beliefs, projections, etc. Doing this and allowing this test to prove your commitment to your goal, to prove your discipline, to embody that through how you respond rather than react, or simply don't respond at all, is really what's going to bless you. And interestingly, the 3 of Cups here could speak of things not working well in teamwork situations or in regard to other people. For example, the 3 of Cups is you presenting your work and people admiring it and wanting to collaborate with you. But in reverse, it could feel like people are judging your work, or they're not understanding it, or there's nobody really wanting to work with you or to collaborate. But what I'm seeing here is actually something very different. Because it's coming up right on top of the Blessed card, I see this as kind of like your blessings being poured out to you. So as you can see, it's in reverse, so the cups are upside down, and I see that water, all of the emotional fulfillment that was in those cups being dumped out right down onto the Blessed card. So all of this energy is wanting to come to you instead of the other version of the 3 of Cups in reverse, which would be... Oh, sorry, I just realized I was describing the meaning for the Three of Pentacles. I just got those mixed up in my head. The Three of Cups is celebration. So in the upright position, it would be celebrating and rejoicing and socializing and being with your friends and family and just kind of being expressive and carefree. So in the reverse position then, this would be feeling as though there is a lack of connection. Again, because if people are lashing out at you or attacking you, or you feel disconnected, or it's unsafe to connect, then of course there's going to be the experience of lack here. But it's still the same message, because I see this energy of celebration being kind of flipped inward or upside down and still resulting in you being blessed. So it's almost like no matter what happens outside of you, you're still going to be blessed. No matter what anybody else does, you're still going to be blessed. Because this is your fate, this is your karma, this is your dharma, I should say. So it's something that you've worked for, it's something you've developed. It's not something that can be taken away from anything that's external to you, because you've cultivated this within yourself. That's why it is being tested, because when we do up level, when we do shift our frequency and we start to embody a whole new experience of our divine expression, we will set up almost like an obstacle course to continue to train, but also to test ourselves to see how far we've gotten. So I do see that kind of happening for you in the month of April, especially if you've recently had a major breakthrough, or you did some big clearing work and you up-leveled, you expanded your sense of self, or you did some major healing. This is kind of like the aftermath of that, where it's like, okay, so you did all this studying and you did well in the interim tests. Now let's take the final exam and see if you're ready to graduate. And then once you graduate, you're on to the next level. So it's like a never-ending kind of training ground here, but it can be really enjoyable and fun if we allow it to be. And I do see that this month for you is going to be abundant. No matter what's going on around you, you are experiencing so many blessings in so many ways. I feel not just the inner peace, but also the manifestation of that on the outside. So physical abundance, having more than enough money, having more than enough time, and even feeling as though everything is working out. So there's just this real sense of joy and happiness and contentment that I'm getting from you guys in the month of April, which is great, especially since, the other energy that was there. And again, I'm feeling this 10 of Swords not for the month of April, it's past energy. So this being where you were, and then the 9 of Pentacles being where you are now, this is a big change. That is a big up level, you guys. So congratulations to those of you who have gotten yourself out of situations where you were completely overwhelmed, overburdened, burnt out, or felt stabbed in the back, betrayed, or as if you were taking on the opinions and negative energy or thoughts from other people. This month you may also want to be like a mediator. So if you see other people in conflict, I do get the sense that because you're so stable and grounded, you will have the capacity to sort of intervene in a way, safely, of course, but to kind of play the mediator in a sense that allows both parties to kind of calm down. It's like you infuse this calming, very practical, balanced energy into the equation, and people who were triggered, they feel that, they tune into it, and then it grounds them, and the anger or the frustration or the resentment or whatever it was that they were feeling initially just kind of begins to dissipate and fade away until they're back in their body and feeling grounded again, and they're like, oh, okay, it's not really worth fighting about. So I don't think that's going to apply to everybody, but that is one specific message that was coming through, so I figured I would share it. I do see you making a lot of progress this month, pile 4. I see you constantly moving. So the shark energy, although the other message related to that was to do with kind of attack or aggression or anything like that, kind of conflict energy. What I also see here with the shark is progression. It's forward movement and it's continuity. So I feel as though another part of this commitment being tested for you is your wherewithal to keep going. So simply just keep swimming, and that is what's going to get you to where you want to go or where you're trying to go. Consistent work, consistent application, consistent discipline. This is really what is allowing you to fully break free from those old patterns of complete depletion and instead really stand strong and firm in your stability. And I'm back at the Three of Cups again here with pretty much the same message as before, but a little bit different. So now what they're showing me is that you're actually going to be rained down with blessings as you continue in this committed, consistent, stable, disciplined way. So it's as though there's reward, as if, for example, the example they're giving me is as though you are applying for a job and there's kind of like an interim testing period, and you kind of have to prove that you're qualified to have this job. So they give you a set period of time and it's unpaid, and you come in and you do the work and you basically show the CEO or the bosses or the managers that you can do this job efficiently and effectively. And if you can, and you do prove that, well, then you get this huge salary. You get the job, and there's bonuses, and there's vacation time. So like all of those different things, you know what I mean? Just an example or a metaphor. But I do see here that when you remain committed, when you pass this test, there's a lot of blessings that are just raining down on you from above. So all these manifestations are showing up. All of this love is manifesting. It's as if the angels are rejoicing. That's what I'm seeing. It's like your spirit guides and your higher self and all of your loved ones. It's like everyone is celebrating you and everyone can see the progress that you've made, and they want you to know that the blessings that they're specifically sending you are because of your commitment to this path or to your purpose. So I want to find out what these blessings are. I'm curious. And I didn't use any clarifiers for any of the other piles or any of the other readings today, but I did set aside one deck for clarifiers because I had a feeling that I was going to use them at some point, and I totally forgot about them until right now. So let's take a look at what these blessings from Spirit are in regard to you passing this test and proving your commitment. The Fool card and the High Priestess. Okay. Freedom and spiritual knowledge. Of course, that's the gifts that Spirit would send you, wouldn't it be? Yeah, of course. It's freedom to live life on your terms, and the spiritual knowledge, and more importantly, wisdom to make that happen. The other thing I see from the High Priestess is it's like notoriety isn't the right word. It's more like a title or a position. So it's kind of like when coronation, crown. Yeah, because they're showing me the crown on her head, and then I looked over and I have a crown sticker on my laptop. And I was trying to find the word, and then my eyes focused on the crown, and it was like, oh yeah, coronation. So it does feel like a coronation, as though yes, you are ready and able to fill this position or to stand in this embodied version of you. And because of that, there's almost like a little ceremony or something like that that's going on at soul level for you to embody that and to be celebrated for that. Okay, let's see what other blessings are coming. Judgment. Oh, wow. Again, the Judgment card it's feeling like liberation. So freedom, liberation, and spiritual empowerment. Wow. Pile 4, this is amazing. The Judgment card is a rebirth, and the Fool card is a brand new beginning. Extremely joyous, free, open, unburdened, and unfettered. It's just, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Anything is possible. The world is your oyster. And I see the spiritual wisdom, this position of High Priestess, kind of like being bestowed on you. And because of that, it's almost like the angels are heralding, they're trumpeting out your progression or this point in your spiritual journey. This is really amazing. I want more information. I am just so curious about you, Pile 4, and what these blessings are actually going to look like. Okay, we have the 10 of Wands. And the 9 of Pentacles again. Wow, you cannot get much clearer than that, Pile 4. You guys are being blessed financially. Abundance. It's really coming in here. When you've crawled your way here, you were going slow but steady, and you stayed the course. And yes, these tests are still here this month, but so are the rewards. So are the fruits of your labors, quite literally, because there's grapes in the card. Look at this. Right there. See? There's grapes and all this money. This represents self-discipline. So you are really standing in your abundance. This is the garden that you've created, and you get to enjoy it. It's stopping to smell the roses, enjoying the present moment, and feeling luxurious. I'm definitely tuning into that luxurious energy. So maybe you're spending a little bit of money on yourself, buying really luxurious, enjoyable, healthy foods, maybe getting some new clothes to represent this new embodied self. Maybe you're taking yourself on a short trip. I don't see anything major here, like a major vacation or anything, but maybe a short trip somewhere. Going to a spa, getting a facial, getting your hair done. I see these themes from the 9 of Pentacles. So you're treating yourself because you have been through a lot and you deserve it. Now the 10 of Wands, on the other hand here, there's 2 messages I see. Number 1 is the 10 of Wands representing the end of those burdens that you were carrying. The other side of that is more responsibility. So although you are releasing burdens, stepping into this new position, there is more responsibility. That's why your commitment does need to be tested, because you have to have the qualifications to be able to do that job or to play that role or to embody that version of you. So the 10 of Wands here, I don't see it as a bad thing. I do see this as more responsibility. And this could just mean that you have a lot going on, like you have a full plate, and yet at the same time, you're really still able to set aside time, space, and energy for yourself and rewarding yourself, because you do have a lot going on and you do have a lot of responsibility. This can also represent more work coming in, more people being interested in you. And it's so funny. It's almost like the image that I just saw in my head, and I've never associated that with the Ten of Wands before. So this is specific to this reading, is, you know, when a celebrity gets out of a car and there's paparazzi all around and they're kind of like holding up something in front of their face to shield their identity because they're just so popular, and they just want those moments of anonymity. They kind of want to just fly under the radar, but they can't because they're so well known and so popular and so sought after. So I see people I see you being sought after, and I see you almost kind of shielding yourself a little bit. And that's probably because some of the attention is negative, you know, just like the paparazzi. Some stories are kind, but most are negative. So it is this sense of, okay, let me just have my anonymity here. I have all of these other responsibilities that I need to handle. That's what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to keep my head down. I'm going to focus on what I came here to do. And I'm going to receive the blessings from the hard work that I'm putting in because I know I deserve it. There's a real solid sense of self-worth in your reading here, Pile 4. So I feel this strong, abundant, growth-oriented self-love from you that is truly, truly beautiful. And you have fought tooth and nail for this. I can see with these 2 tens, especially the 10 of Swords, you have fought tooth and nail. You have been through the ringer to get to where you are today. You've taken on a lot, and in turn, you've released a lot. Intentionally, consciously. And that was the work. So you have every bit earned this. You have every bit earned these blessings. Don't let anybody take that away from you or judge you because they only see one part of your journey, because they only see the part where you get the abundance. You know how hard you worked. Spirit knows how hard you worked. I know how hard you worked because I can see it. I can feel it. So keep your head down. Focus on what matters to you. Prioritize your blessings, receiving them and creating them for yourself. Prioritizing, setting aside that time. And this is what I see for you in the month of April, Pile 4. I am so happy to see that for you, this rebirth and this embodiment that you are really, really owning. So proud of you, Pile 4. So many blessings coming, and I'm wishing you even more blessings. You really do deserve it. All right, guys. So that is what I have for you for the month of April. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see more of these readings and any other types of readings, you can also check out my other YouTube channel, To Kitty and Beyond. And if you're looking for any services that I offer, I do have all sorts of different readings: Akashic, Psychic, Tarot, and 7D Manifesting Blueprint as well. In the description box below, there's a link to my website. You can check it out there. And if you have any questions, let me know. Lots of love, guys, and we will see you in the next reading. Bye.